Excuse me, James Herondale. Honestly, amazing, love that. Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'd apologize for the long wait between videos, but I'm really just super irregular anyway. So here we are for another book review. Okay, and today will be finally Chain of Iron. I finished it literally within the week that it came out. I've just had to mull on some things, I think, and also like how to put all of my words into my mouth out of my brain, you know? So yeah, that's what today is. I've seen a few people do their reviews for this book by characters. I think it could just be because no one actually has any idea what's going on in the book at the moment. We're just attached to the characters, which I'm fine with. That's perfectly fine. Especially with the characters that we've been given, because amazing, the best. Okay, so first I'm literally going to go in alphabetical order because why not? So first character is Alistair. Now, I don't know about any of you, but I do love me some Alistair Carstairs because beautiful, amazing, has some redemption to do because he done did messed up back when they were all in school. He done did messed up. But also, look, I'm not going to do a non-spoiler and a spoiler part in this review because I don't think I'm going to be able to accomplish that while guaranteeing that there's not going to be any spoilers. So if you haven't read the book and you don't want spoilers, I'm sorry, none of this is for you because I'm about to word vomit all over this review. Yeah, so which brings me to my first point of business, and it is the fact that Alistair and Thomas finally kiss. They finally kiss. Finally. And Thomas is all like, yeah, cool, this is awesome. And Alistair just comes in there with that perfect angst and just like, no, I don't deserve you yet. And then leaves. And they don't talk to each other again for the rest of the book. Perfection. Annoying, but perfection. Then also, poor darling Alistair, the relationship that he has with his father, peace be with him, Elias, him not sleeping after he dies because he doesn't feel bad about he does feel bad, but he doesn't feel bad about his dad dying, you know? Like, beautiful. I love him so much. Also, probably also because I also probably relate to Alistair because I also didn't care about Elias's death. I will elaborate on that, so please don't burn me yet. But that's just a feeling that I have. Next on the character list is Anna. And again, just perfection. It's Will Herondale in female form, but elevated, if that could ever happen. Honestly. So yeah, so we don't have a lot of her in this one. Like, she's just sort of always like in the background of the meetings with the Merry Thieves. Also, obviously, there's the whole thing going on with Ariadne and her. But Anna's just sort of like covering up her like emotions by just sleeping with her all the time, every other day at the Whispering Room, which, you know, isn't going to end well, of course. Also, I also have a note down here saying, please don't die, because Chain of Iron doesn't have a major character death. No, I do not count Elias's death as a major character death. No, I do not. I will explain it. We'll come back to that. But I feel it that that's a possibility. Also because I have studied the Shadowhunter family line religiously, and she does not, obviously, being a gay woman, doesn't have any lineage after her, but there's no other like mention to say that she's married or that she's with anyone or anything like that. But also Barbara Lightwood, Thomas's brother, it also doesn't say that she died in Chain of Gold. It doesn't say that year. So, you know, who's to say that we can actually go off of that family tree anymore? Anyway, but yeah, that's something that I am worried about, is Anna possibly being the sacrificial lamb, and obviously sacrificing herself for Ariadne, of course, because it's going to be devastating. But who knows? Who knows? That's a prediction. That's prediction number 1 for this full of spoilers review. Next to Christopher's name, I just have the word Grace with a question mark. Now, I, just like any other normal human being, loathe Grace like a pit in my stomach. Like, I understand you've been misled, hun, but this is a lot. So if she hurts him, we're going to have to burn her. However, I am enjoying the interactions Christopher is having with Grace, and also just how excited he is that someone is talking to him somewhat interestedly in what he is doing. Also that she is the one that came up with the idea that perhaps James is the only one that can fire the firearm because of his demon blood. Beautiful. Amazing. Yeah, that's sort of only, I'm just waiting to see more Christopher and Grace interactions. And I really hope that he's somehow immune to her thing, because I just don't trust her enough to just, you know, trust her to not use it on him. So, I mean, we'll see. Cordelia. Okay, Cordelia is next. The whole thing with Cortana got me real stressed, and I was like, okay, if she loses Cortana, she's going to be wrecked. She is not going to be enjoying herself. I wasn't mad when it turned out to be Lilith that she was now the paladin of, because yes, Lilith, yes to all of that. Amazing. I mean, obviously in this setting, probably not so great, and Cordelia feels like she's, you know, stupid for signing up to Lilith, but I say go for it. You literally kicked ass throughout all of those fight scenes. Honestly, don't know why you're getting upset about it. I'm now going to touch on the Cordelia and Matthew madness. And madness because I want it so bad, but I think I want Jordelia more. Ugh, it's so very frustrating. And we can't have another Tessa Gem Will situation, or possibly Kier Katark, which is a ship name, and I will forever hurt myself trying to say it. He was the only one that she trusted to take her to go and see Waylon the Smith, to go and get Cortana fixed, and they had a beautiful day out. That's wonderful. And then also Matthew then spewing all of his emotions out at her, and she's like, I'm already married, you can't propose to me. And he's like, yeah, I know, but come to Paris with me. We'll buy you lots of things. It makes my heart sore while it sinks. Like, I'm torn apart with this whole love triangle thing. And it is a full love triangle because there is love between James and Matthew. It's just all very messy. Yeah, which then brings me to Cordelia and James, and just the beautiful interactions between them when they're living together as a married couple, and it's just beautiful, and they play their games together. And the wedding. Okay, if there's like one single reason that James and Cordelia have to continue to stay married, it's that wedding. Because did I tear up when they heard Jem playing the violin out in the courtyard? Yeah, I did. You bet your ass I did, because I was there. I was in that church just seeing it. Honestly, amazing. Absolutely amazing. Could not top that. Could not. If there was one reason that James and Cordelia need to stay together and it not be Matthew and Cordelia, then it needs to be that wedding. Period. Anyway, moving on to Cordelia and Elias's relationship. That was probably the only reason I was upset about Elias's death, was that Cordelia very clearly hadn't got closure for any of the things that she'd heard about her father, or that, you know, that had gone on, or anything like that. And so it's just, that was very messy for her sake. So I will now explain the very clear reason for me to not like Elias. And it's probably not what you're thinking, because it's not because he's a drunk. It's because he is literally like the Feyre father. Because we hear about him throughout, I mean, it was only through Chain of Gold that we heard about him. We hear about him and he's not there for literally the whole thing until like the first quarter of the second book. Then he's not really in it unless he was arguing with James about needing money, and then he was dead. He was just not a relevant character. There were so many other people happening in that book and he was not happening. I just was not attached to him at all. And I've seen a lot of reviews about people getting very upset about his death and, oh my god, like he didn't get his redemption arc, and I get it. And also he didn't get to see his baby, his new baby, and I'm like, even though he called them brats. He was very clearly written as a hero gone villain type-esque person, and I get it, but he was just irrelevant. He could have just not been in it at all, and it would have made not a shit of a difference. I'm sorry. That's how I feel about it. Let me just change over my notes. There we go. Next person on my list is the G word. Yes, it is Grace. It is Grace. Like I said before, I need more Grace and Christopher interactions, but from the Grace perspective, I need it because that seems to be more of her personality, because you see with her interactions with her and Lucy that she is always mixing up concoctions and things, and I feel like that would just be so beautiful for her and Christopher to bond over all of these scientific things, and it'll be beautiful, and she'll realize that she doesn't have to use that stupid thing that she got from whatever the bloody greater demon's name is, whatever James's grandfather's name is, whatever. And it'll be nice. Also, I hope that possibly old mate, I can't even think of the demon's name. I really hope that he rescinds his power from her, because that way we can also trust her around Christopher, because then she won't have the Grace power, you know? Also, very glad that when Tatiana said, oh, you need to convince Jessie to meet up with us, and she's like, wait, it was something like that, something along those lines. And Grace was like, well, how do you expect me to do that? And she's like, well, obviously seduce him. And Grace is like, what? And I'm like, okay, cool. She has morals. Sweet. So glad to see that. So glad to see that she has a human brain. Yeah, that was also another eye, because she's, you know, when you see from her perspective, it's good, because outside of that, she just seems like an alien. Yeah. Yeah, that's, yeah. Okay, now on to James. Loved that he had a searing headache the whole book, because he was fighting the Gracelet, because, I mean, seeing Cordelia in her wedding dress, and then making the house all beautiful for them, and then, excuse me, can we discuss the bedroom scene where he's tied down and tells her to kiss him? Excuse me, James Herondale. Honestly, amazing. Love that. Love seeing, you know, something else other than just like being, oh yeah, Grace, oh my God, Grace. Dumb. James and Matthew. Now, I was thinking in all through Chain of Gold, I was like, why aren't they just talking to each other? Why don't they just talk to each other? Discuss how they're feeling. What are we doing? Honestly, what is happening? And then I realized that that's the trend. That is the whole issue of every one of these books. Did you know that all of the Parabatai keep everything from each other? Do we forget Will and Jem both hiding their feelings for Tessa? Do we forget Julian and Emma both hiding feelings for each other? Jace and Alec feeling the love feelings for Jace? I had no idea until I read this, and I was like, why aren't they talking to each other? And I was like, oh, that's right, because none of them do. Dumb. It's just dumb. Also, very excited for them to be reunited, since James has now fallen back in love with Cordelia and has read the letter that Matthew has left him saying, oh my God, you love Grace. That's totally fine, because I love Cordelia. So catch you later. We're going to Paris. And James is like, I'm gonna belch you. Actually, I'm going to put you in the ground. Not actually like that, but you know, like, I love that. I love brilliant. Give it to me now. I can't wait 12 months for this. Thank you so much. Okay, then we have Lucy. Now, I found her perspectives quite problematic, quite interesting, because Jessie also seemed quite in her face, like, and was like, don't do that, meh. That's the vibe. Like, I mean, it's been a couple of months since I read it, but that's the you know, vibe that I'm still feeling now, is that he was just very, and then he'd apologize and they'd be fine, but then he'd be like, why are you doing that? Dumb, go away. Lucy can do this. Shut up. But then in also saying that, when she manages to, resurrect Jessie, did we get a drum roll? Did we get a, oh no, I failed, let's try again later? I mean, she did try to do it beforehand, but it was like, oh, maybe I'll just, while we're here, I'll just try again and maybe it'll work. And it worked. And then he woke up and she passed out. And then Ragnar came and they all left. How? There had better be some better explanation for this than just, oh, it just worked this time. Because there was not any yeah, anyway, that's how I feel confused about it, if you can't tell. I can't. Okay, now, beautiful Matthew. Beautiful Matthew. Look, I am still very worried for him. Still very upset with him just not talking to James. Also, the fact that he actually did talk to Cordelia about what happened to his unborn sibling. Very sad, but love that he finally spoke to someone about it, because it needed to happen. Need to talk about it, please. But you know, then proceeds to take his best friend's wife to Paris because he loves her and just needs to get her away from there for a little bit. It's questionable. But also that he promised that he wouldn't drink because it doesn't hit her going to Paris with him was just like better than any high that he could get. Bah, Matthew, you poor little baby. But look, I am also worried with Matthew for the same reason that I am worried for Anna, but maybe with a little bit more founded worry, because he is, I mean, he could end up with the boys too, so, but he didn't have the little line to say that he was married. Just the fact that he didn't have the Fairchild lineage, which means that he doesn't get with anyone, which then makes me worry that he possibly dies, and that would be like the only way to fix the whole love triangle thing. But if he dies, I will die. So what do we do? I'm afraid. I'm very happy for him though, because I just want to see like snippets of him and Cordelia in Paris, just like buying things and being fabulous and amazing and not falling more in love with each other, because that is also problematic. Yeah. As for the storyline, Tatiana's out of the Iron Sisters and with the greater demon, and Lilith's been hurt and run off, and like what has even happened? It's literally just characters. That's what we read these books for. We read for the characters and the beautiful writing. But the storyline, I mean, yeah, I didn't know who the killer was going to be. I didn't know that James was, I thought it would be interesting if James was the killer, especially with Elias having died right after they had the argument. I was like, wait, hang on a second. What is happening? Did he do that? That's going to be an issue with him and Cordelia. Very glad that it was not an issue, because it wasn't him. It was Jesse though. So that's interesting. Oh, and before I finish this review, also Papa Will, forever. Amazing. It's literally, I just have to make sure that I mention him, because can't read a book with him in it and not mention him. Oh, and Magnus Bane, but definitely more Will Herondale, because, you know, Will Herondale. Yeah, so I think that's everything. If you have questions about some of this, also about characters that I may have missed, because I am rambling and I did not finish my character list before I started this video, which is an error, but you know, we get that. But yeah, thank you also so much for getting me over 100 subscribers. Thank you so much. Oh my God. And I'm like staying there, and that's wild to me. So love your work. Amazing. Please like this video and subscribe if you have not, because trust me, I do a crazy little dance every time I see that my numbers are going up. So please, love that. Thank you so much. But yeah, I will see you in the next book review. I did order A Touch of Ruin by old mate St. Clair, that did Touch of Darkness. Scarlet St. Clair, haha. Because you guys seem to really like that review. So I was like, well, I must give the masses what they want. Yeah, so that could possibly be one of the next reviews. Okay, yeah, so thank you for watching my video, and I'll see you in my next one. Okay, thank you, bye!